So, like I said, I'm the FFA officer. I'm the Sentinel, which is by the door. The symbol for the Sentinel is the clasp of friendship. And just to tell you a little bit about my background, I had moved into Campbell County High School in the middle of my sophomore year. And I was missing a science credit. And so they stuck me in environmental science, and Miss Teague was the teacher. Well, Miss Teague was on maternity leave, and so we had a sub. And so I go in, I'm like, gosh, the sub hated me from the first day. Well, she left, and then another sub come in, and she left, and then another sub come in, and she left. They finally got one that stuck, okay? And I wasn't a troublemaker. Was not a troublemaker. And so that Miss Teague had every reason in the world to just go off of what everybody else said about me and just not give me the chance that I wanted. And she gave me a chance and nobody else would. And I wrote that creed 5 times and she got me a green hand degree that year. And I really want to thank her, just like today showing up for this event. She is the best and I really appreciate her. So I was running for office in our high school, and I said, what is something that I can apply for? I wanted vice president. I mean, I was like, I want to be the vice president. Well, she's like, maybe you should put that you most desire vice president, and then put Sentinel as a fallback. I was like, Sentinel? Come on. Well, I didn't understand at the time how big of a deal the Sentinel was. So when we have our FFA meetings, the president will be here, vice president in the back, and then wherever the door is where the Sentinel will be. So if Robbie walks in, I'm like, hey Robbie, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Gives him a good attitude coming in the door. So, anyways, I'm getting off, the rabbit's going down the rabbit hole, okay? So like I said, I'm running for regional office. This was at UT Knoxville. They have prep courses and things to get you ready for running. So I was that is Mr. Morton's son, another advisor at our school. He came along so I wouldn't be alone, really. So this was a group visit. We attended UTK for their Goodwill tour. National FFA Week was just the week before last, so we went to UT Knoxville, and then we stopped on at the dam on the way back. This is not all of our chapter. We have about 200 members in Campbell County FFA, because thanks to our governor, they pay for every student that takes an agriculture class gets paid their membership fees in the state of Tennessee. So we don't have to pay nothing to be an FFA. This was also at the State Office Goodwill Tour. You can see Miss Teague over here. I'm petting Smokey, my favorite dog ever, Go Balls. And this is the same group from the last picture. National Convention. We love National Convention because we get to load up and go to Indianapolis and get up there. We get the session to watch people get their American degrees, which is the highest honor somebody in FFA can obtain. So we went. That is at the National FFA Center in Indianapolis as well. I'm all the way on the end. I'm not laying on the ground. I'm not goofy like that. Okay. I'm just kidding. This was soil judging. So soil judging is an awesome event that we do. It's called a CDE. A CDE is a career development event. And so it does what it says. It develops our career. So we studied for weeks on this. I mean weeks. When we got over there, we had 2 groups, I think, maybe. Am I right? 2 groups. And I was group B, I think, if I remember right. And they give us a Scantron. You go into these soil pits, you take a little sample, spray some water on it, make soil ribbon, and you point of CTE, learning hands-on skills and becoming part of a group. Community pride can start with friendship. I love our county. I love our community. I would not trade the people in our county for nothing. Now, everybody may not love everything, but that's going to be like that anywhere. And the connection that we have in our county is unlike any other. This was at Tennessee Tech in the fall. We love Tennessee Tech University because they hold all of these judging courses. So this one was for horticulture, livestock, and nursery. So I went to practice for floriculture judging, which is flowers. I got a lot of criticism over that because I was like the only guy in this huge room, all these girls, and they're all studying flowers, and they're like, what's this guy doing here? I was like, hey, I love flowers too. You make a woman mad, that's how you make her happy. All you guys better be getting in touch with Miss T to make the woman happy. This was the regional public speaking. We'll come up here in a second on district and sub-regional, but the regional is over the whole East Tennessee region. I'm running for regional office, and so getting to advance to the region was really awesome for me because I got to meet the officers that are currently serving our region and the advisor for the region. So she knows me, and when I put my application in, she'll be like, hey, he was at regional public speaking. So I placed third in that event out of about there was 7 others, so there was 8 overall. I placed 3 out of 8 on that. This was at the Campbell County Commission in January. I attend all of the commission meetings, or try to, when nothing else conflicts with it. I went to commission meetings with my papaw since I was probably 10 years old. It's just been something that me and him do together. A lot of kids think it's boring. I'm like, yeah, I want to know this. Like, this is good stuff to know. Why don't y'all get excited about this? So, shout out to La Follette Press. No hate on Volunteer Times or WLAF. I love you all equally. All of y'all, okay? So, but shout out to La Follette Press for this great story on when Leadership Campbell County come up. Leadership Campbell County is part of the chamber, and this was not too long after I had joined as a student member. And so I wanted the Campbell County leadership class to come up so we could talk to them about everything we do at CCHS for agriculture. We have a glass house, a greenhouse, a cell shed. We have 2 ag shops, one of them being Mr. Morton's and the other Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds has goats and small animals for all of his vet science classes. Here you can see some really messy hair in Miss Teague and Mr. Morton. And we are in this picture we are at Clinton High School, because Clinton is a part of our district. So I believe there's 7 other schools in our district, and I competed in extemporaneous speaking. The first time I had ever done extemp speaking. Extemp speaking is you go in a room, they give you a list of topics, you don't know what they are, you randomly choose 3, they give you 10 minutes to research, 10 minutes to research and 20 minutes to write your speech on it. So we go in here, and I'm like not feeling good about it at all. I was like, man, I don't know about that speech, I don't know about it. Well, the judges come out from Morgan County and Anderson County, great judges, and they come out, they were awesome judges, let me tell you about it. They come out, they're going down this list, and they start at the top, and they're working their way down. I was like, dang, I did so bad, they didn't even place me on there. And then they go to first, and they're like, Campbell County, and we're like, no way. So I was ecstatic with that win. And that is a LDE, which is a leadership development event. We are all about leadership in FFA, just like how the Rotary is about leadership in our county. This was at the February Chamber Coffee Connection. It was my first Chamber Coffee as a student member, and I can't wait to be at Thursday's Chamber Coffee. And like I said, in this one I'll be playing hooky again. Maybe Mr. Faust won't catch me, maybe he will, I don't know. So I went. I'm in the picture there with Mr. Faust and Miss Fields, and shout out to WLAF for that little story. So this is the regional, so over the whole East Tennessee region, landscaping and floriculture CDE. There was more people, but they didn't get in this picture. And I'm on the end here on the right, and all the ones on the left there did landscaping. And again, I was the only guy that did floriculture, so flower power. But anyways, I got a lot of criticism that day too. They're like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know, I'm just, I like flowers. That was at the Veterans Overlook as well. If you've never been to the Veterans Overlook in Cleveland County, it is beautiful. So this is the sub-regional public speaking. the top 3 from the sub-region move on to the region. I barely came in at 3rd, was ecstatic with that, because it had been a month or 2 months, I believe it was 2 months from when I had spoke in the district. So from the district to the sub-region was 2 months, and then from the sub-region to the region was a week. So I was so excited that I had placed 3rd in the sub-region. There's 2 sub-regions in East Tennessee, and move on. SAE, now this is a bad picture, I'll just tell you, this is a bad picture, okay? But it's the only picture I have of me doing SAE. SAE is Supervised Agricultural Experience. So you can see me, I took a selfie, love selfies. Took one there on the skid steer at our farm, because I had just loaded some totes for a guy that had come and purchased some. And SAE is Supervised Agricultural Experience, and is part of our grade, 10% of our grade. And I believe last year I had about 80 hours of SAE for the year. So it's great. It teaches us responsibility and to maintain things we like.
Can you carry that over to the next year so we don't have to do it next year?
Well, it actually, I'm glad you said that. So it carries on into our career. So yeah, so when you get different degrees, you have to extend your SAE or have a certain amount of hours in your SAE. This guy's familiar. I don't know where I've seen him at, but he might be sitting at a table over there, just not as much dressed up. But this is at the Boy Scouts Award Dinner. I had my FFA lapel pin on there, so I had to throw the picture in there. This is at Buc-ee's. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Buc-ee's. Okay, for the people that's not raising their hand, go to Buc-ee's. So every time that we go somewhere that passes a Buc-ee's, when you go to Tennessee Tech, you pass a Buc-ee's. When you go to National Convention, you pass a Buc-ee's. When you go to State Convention, you pass a Buc-ee's. We stop. Like, we're going. You can bet your money that we are going to Buc-ee's. So, in every picture, it's just like a ritual that I get on Bucky and take a picture with him, and then everybody else kind of crowds around. Mr. Morton. Raise your hand if you know Mr. Morton. Great, awesome. If you don't know Mr. Morton, get to know him. Hey, we're having our plant sale coming up. Come to our plant sale. This is Mr. Morton in his natural state. He was taking a picture of me and Miss T, and he was holding everything. 2 phones, a laptop, notebook, backpack. That's all I have in the presentation, but I would like to talk to you about the degrees in FFA. So we have a green hand degree, which is your first year members. Usually as a freshman is when you get a green hand degree. And then when you move on from that is your chapter degree, which is issued by your chapter at their banquet. And then you have to have your chapter degree and your green hand to go on and get your state degree, which is given to you by the Tennessee FFA Foundation. And then you can, once you're 2 years out of high school, you can apply for a national or American degree, which is awarded to you by the National FFA organization. So you have to have community service and different hours of SAE and all that combined to be able to get one of these degrees. They help you on college resumes or just really any way in life having that degree through FFA. Now, does anybody have any questions for me today?
What level are you?
So I'm a green hand member. Because I started late in high school, I was homeschooled, but I wasn't able to be a part of FFA. So coming in the middle of last year, all I could get was my green hand. But this year I'll be getting my chapter at our banquet in May. And then hopefully next year I'll be getting my state degree. So like there's a junior that is also the same age as me, but she's been in FFA since her freshman year. And she's getting her state degree this year, which I wish to have anything I would have been able to do that. But I'll be just fine getting my state next year. But when they did the regional application, see, these people are getting their state degree, and next week is the state convention for FFA in Gatlinburg. So when they fill out this application, they'll be like, hey, I got a state degree, and here I've got a chapter degree. But it's not just the degrees you have or anything like that. They grade you off of everything when you come there. So, any other questions? Any questions? I've never been asked a stupid question in my entire life, I can promise you that.
So what's your chosen career path?
So, it changes weekly.
So does Kenny's, don't feel bad.
Trying to figure it out.
My mentor, Larry Waters, was 66 when he passed away. And the week before he passed away, I called him. I said, "What are you doing, Larry?" He said, "I'm trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up." And that's probably how I'm going to be too, just to be honest with you. But anyways, I want to go to college. I would love to attend UT Knoxville. And I've actually thought more heavily in the past month or so about a ag education degree to teach, whether it be in our county or around our county, wherever in Tennessee. Because I would love to advance in FFA. I love FFA. It's my home. I've said that at meetings before. And I would love to advance in FFA. You know, the regional advisor for FFA had to start somewhere. So, not that I want to just be in charge of everybody, but I want to be in FFA and really be in it. So, and I also thought about an agricultural business degree. It's a great thing. You can do a variety of different things with that, anywhere from working at LUB. There's people in your office that have agribusiness degrees, and then you can also be an insurance agent for Farm Bureau or for Farm Credit America, anything like that.